Hello, hello.
I guess we're live. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so you want me to just go ahead and get started then?
Yeah, I'll just talk here for just 1 second. If anybody's listening in with us, this is Will Faerber from Art2Ride. I'm here with Darcy Branchini this afternoon. And we were working her horse. If any of you watched the video from last week, he suddenly started getting grouchy about moving and pinning his ears back and these sort of things. And we tried taking saddles off and things like that. And none of that mattered. I suggest that she do the ulcer test, which has seemed to be positive. She did the test this morning, and he did test positive for us. So I think we have a good answer of what's going on with him a little bit. And so what we're going to do today is just kind of see, which is what I would suggest doing when you have a horse that has just what we're doing, with our horse. So as she's getting better, is just kind of don't push him, let him kind of do what they want to do easily without it getting into a big fight until they become more comfortable. So we're going to start with a little work in hand then. We'll
Sure.
see how he is today. So we're leaving all the tack off him just to make him totally comfortable until he starts freely moving forward again. So whenever we have a horse that has been healthy, it's been moving right, and all of a sudden something just goes wrong. All of a sudden they just don't want to go. They're pinning their ears back. We have to eliminate all those things that might be causing it. One of those things can be saddle fit. We tried checking all that last week, but didn't really make any difference when we took him out of it. And but she did an ultrasound test, and that's tested positive. So that was just today. So she'll start on our medication. So that's what we're going to do today is give him what you might call an ulcer ride here. We're just letting him do what he wants to do, stretch out. We don't want horses just turn into couch potatoes while we let them heal from whatever they're healing from. So the more just steady and calm, quiet work we can do, like she's doing here, the better off for everyone. But this looks really nice. He's stepping quite accurately, and actually, he looks quite better already, even though he doesn't have tack on. But already, he just looks livelier than he did a week ago. Of course, it's 40 degrees where they are now, so that can also make a big difference.
I noticed this even a couple days when it was a little warmer. He was starting to act like himself, but I think I mentioned I did put him on a supplement that
Yeah,
Reese's on. So I thought maybe it helped a little anyway.
yeah. Go and get a little shoulder in down this long side. That's really nice. Well, he's already looking better.
Yeah, there you go. Good boy.
I'm just on a big circle here at the end, letting go all the way down. Very nice. Now, last week, if any of you were watching, I noticed he was his belly was quite distended. He looked quite bloated, and that looks much better today. Just looking at him going along here, he looks much trimmer. His belly's up a little bit. Doesn't have that look like he's going to give birth. It's never a good thing. But so often, people have horses that have these problems, and immediately the trainers are telling them, just get after him with whip. He's just being a bad horse. It's very rarely, not that it isn't old, sometimes, a horse just being aggressive or whatever, but actually pretty rare once we get them working happily, as we had this one working happily, and all of a sudden everything changes. Then we have to look into whatever that might be. It's great that we have this ulcer test. It's so easy. I think it's about $50, something like that. It's not expensive. And you can do that yourself. Really nice there all the way down.
Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, there you go.
Very nice. I like that. Really nice there. And once again, I like how free he's moving. This is all really good. As you cross the center line, you can halt and change directions, go the other way.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. And
Yeah,
whoa.
really nice, like that. See, the total release of that underside of the neck.
Whoa.
That's what we're looking for.
Good job. Good job. I know what he's doing. He's looking for a treat. I told you how he learns very fast.
Yep,
He's like, that's the time I normally get something.
and that's okay. Nice. And you can go ahead and go large there and come back towards me a little shoulder forward down the long side.
Boy. Come on. Good boy. Hey, hey, hey. There you go.
Nice. Very nice right there. Good job. Very nice. Really deep into that. And once again on the circle at this end.
Good boy.
Really nice. Really nice there. Getting the neck all the way out. Really nice there.
Good boy.
You always want to stretch all the way the entire length of the neck. So the one to pull, you can see how it almost, you can see it pulling the withers as he stretches all the way down. That's what we want to have happen. That's what flattens the back there and brings the withers up through the shoulders like that.
Good boy. There you go.
Just that little bit deeper one more time so we get it all the way back down there like that. Good. Notice how much looser it gets when he gets all the way there. All of a sudden it becomes very, the rhythm becomes very steady.
Yep.
And you can stop anywhere along there, one more deep stretch like that. And let's put him on the lunge line.
And
That all looked good, quite without any resistance whatsoever. Very
yeah.
nice. You know, it may very well have been exacerbated by the change of feed you said you had there.
Yeah,
All these
definitely.
things, but he certainly doesn't look, as bloated as he did. You know, last time
I
I
think I
saw him, he
lost
looked
it.
very bloated. He's noticeably less bloated. Nobody wants to work when they feel bloated.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, come on. So it did seem to get steadily better over the week. We'll see how he is today. And I noticed that like he just acted more himself even when I'd bring him out to do in hand work, and he would like just be his normal curious self rather than just being sort of annoyed. So we'll see. And he seems to not love the pull pressure. So I've just been hooking it into the inside, even though.
That's fine, as long as it's not, as long as he's not pulling you and pulling the bit to his mouth, that's fine.
Stop. I think honestly, giving this horse treats is just a bad idea.
Well, then, start cutting them out a little bit, give one at the end of the lesson. I mean, ultimately, we want to get to the point where we're just giving them. I always give one in the very beginning just to get their mouth moist and going.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And one when I leave.
He just gets it in his mind.
Yep.
That he knows I have.
Some horses are more that way than others, but that's why we always want to, we never want to give them a treat if they're mauling us to get it. Has to be our idea.
Come on. Can you see him okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And walk. walk. And walk.
Go ahead and let him trot.
And trot.
And let's see what he does.
And trot.
He kind of wants to. There we go.
Come on. And trot. Good boy.
Yep. And go ahead and come back to the walk. Just let him walk again.
And walk.
Got a little bit of the brakes on.
Yeah.
I'll just let him walk again.
Good boy. Good boy. Walk on.
We'd have to say Q's been healing well and starting to be herself again. A little bout of ulcers.
That's good news.
You can move well again. It's an interesting thing. I don't think there's any hard and fast rules about what causes it. You know, is it a virus?
Yeah. I think our hay, we have a hard time around getting hay around here that's consistent. So we use the same hay supplier, but he brought our second load and it's really not what he brought us the first time. So I think that's maybe part of it too.
Yeah, certainly can. Now ask him to trot again. Let me just see what happens. If he wants to go on into it himself, just let him keep going there for a minute.
Trot. Trot. Yeah. Good boy.
There we go. Good job right there.
Good boy.
There we go.
Boy.
Nice. Right there, really nice. Good job, right there.
Come on, trot.
Yeah.
Good boy. Trot.
Now let him walk again.
And walk.
We're not pushing him to do too much. That was certainly much better. As I say, you can see how he's still wanting to go with the brakes on a little bit at first, but he released himself.
Yeah. Good job.
Go ahead and change directions.
Okay. Whoa, Calvin. Whoa. Good boy. Sorry there, Calvin. Sorry. You're such a good boy. Okay. Ready? Walk on. Come on. You have to poop. Yep. Over. Over. Good boy. Come on. Walk on.
Go ahead and ask him to trot, and let's see what he does.
And trot. And trot. Trot. Good boy. Trot. Trot. Come on.
And let him walk. That's right.
Okay.
Let him stretch out. He obviously doesn't want to go.
It looks like he has to poop too.
Maybe he has to poop. Might be better after that.
Okay.
Go ahead and ask for the trot one more time, since he was seeming to want to do that.
And trot.
See if it made any difference.
And trot. Good boy.
That's good. Very nice.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Come on. Good boy.
Very good. And you can let him walk.
And walk.
That was much better that time.
Yeah.
Let's stop. We got the big stretch. Definitely still have the brakes on him. But let's stop with that for today. I think that's all we need to see.
Okay.
He's definitely still got the brakes on a little bit, but it certainly looked a little better than it did the other day. So
Yeah.
just continue on. Assuming you're going to start him on the medication for that stuff when you get it.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
just keep doing it just like this. Kind of letting him. Don't push him. If he doesn't. If he's pinning his ears back, that sort of. That's what we did today. Let him do what he's happy to do.
Good boy.
Just get a good stretch out of it, even if it's just in a walk, just to light up those muscles while we
Okay.
wait for him to heal up.
Yeah, and the
But he
one.
definitely looked better already. He's definitely so much less bloated this week than he was a week ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Not nearly as well, he wasn't really just spinning on you like he was trying to do last time,
Yeah.
pinning those ears back.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
Great job. So we needed that for this week, and just keep working it like that, looking at it, watching it, waiting for him to get happy again.
Okay. Sounds
As this
good.
heals.
We're gonna have like a 10-minute, 15-minute. I gotta get trigger ready, so I
Okay,
was running the camera.
that sounds good.
I'll put a hold on it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thanks,
see
Will.
in a few.
Thank you. Great work with him. Inappropriate. What we have to do today.
Yep.
Hey, Will.
Hey,
We're live.
we're live again. Hey, everybody, we're back. I'm here with Ron Branchini, and this is horse Tigger. Is it Tigger or Trigger? Trigger. I keep wanting to call him Tigger.
Yeah.
Let's proceed with a little work in hand to start off with. We're going to try to get some weight on this horse today on his back
Okay.
and see how it goes. But of course, we start going through the same process as we always do before we do that.
Let me know if that's tracking okay.
Yep, okay so far. Nice. I get him to yield those hindquarters just a little bit more as he starts to begin to stretch down there. That's better though already.
Good boy.
Go ahead and go large down the long side, then turn by the center line and leg yield to the right. Nice. A little tap just to speed up that back end a little bit so we get a little more swing out of him once he starts to stretch, so we get a little longer stride.
Come on. Come on, buddy.
A little more consistent contact with your outside rein there. There you go. Neck wasn't bent. It's getting better though in the stretch. Not go ahead onto a circle here now. That's just got him really starting to happen now. Just keep asking him to yield those hindquarters a little bit, get a little more step over. That's really coming nicely now though.
Oh, buddy.
Nice. Boy, it's always a sound we're looking for. They start blowing out like that. Tells them we're starting to take deeper breaths. Go ahead and go large down the long side and then come back to me on the other side with a little bit of a shoulder four. A little tap, just keep trying to get that step a little bit more active. Try and get, there you go, like that. That's better. It's a little deeper step. And shoulder four coming down the next long side. Really nice there. Really nice. Excellent. And once again, at the end here, just down to a big circle again. A little more contact with your outside rein. Just always remember to take the slack up over there. I don't want any backwards pressure, but I always want you to keep the slack out so that he will stretch into that contact with your hand. We see a lot of people talking about contact and bits and all these kind of things, but for everybody, understand that no horse's mouth is ever going to be correct. It's never going to relax and allow you to communicate through it until that back comes up. That's what allows the horse to flex at the pole and relax its jaw. And that's what allows us to ride on the weight of the rein, if you will. But even when it's the weight of the rein, it's a positive sense of the horse wanting to seek contact. Someone once described as holding hands with a little small child, you know, that you want to keep them there, but you don't want to grip their little hand apart. The same thing is true of the horse's mouth. It's very sensitive. This whole idea of holding against the horse's mouth while you ride, I must tell everyone, is a fairly new concept in the last 20 or 30 years of people deciding that, oh, you can pull it in and hold it in with your hands. It's a ridiculous concept. It's like driving a car with your brakes on all the time. Eventually the brakes are going to go out. But if you're always punishing the horse, it's never going to want to do this for very long. Really nice there. As you come back to the center line, again, you can stop and change directions. Looking really good. Big stretch. This horse is looking so much better. We're beginning to see that underside of his neck, the muscles are starting to go away, which is what we want. We want to put the muscles on the top of the neck, not on the bottom. Really nice. This is his more difficult side, isn't it?
Easier side right here.
This is the easier side. Well, both sides are coming.
It's easier side, but more difficult to get him to move.
Interesting.
He'll stretch into it, but then he's slow.
It's coming really nicely, though, compared to what you used to get.
Come on.
And just for those of you tuning in, just listen. If you look at this horse going across the ring right there and look behind the saddle, you can see how there's kind of a big dip there. It's improving all the time. He used to have quite tented hips, meaning his hips were sticking out. And all that is caused from people not teaching the horse to carry weight. Unfortunately, so many people just think that, oh, you just jump on the back of horses and away you go, right? Well, unfortunately, that's the way most of them are ruined. Because if they're not strong enough to lift your weight when you get on them, and very few horses are, even very big ones, and some of the biggest ones have the weakest backs, like Frisians, a very, very weak back. The longer the back is, the weaker it is.
Come on.
A little bit, yeah. So I keep trying to get that a little bit more activity, but it's coming really nicely. There you go, like that, really good. Go ahead and go large down the long side and come back to me on the other side doing a little shoulder 4. Nice. Now it's getting really deep now. Really nice. Really nice. Right there. It's really good. That's really nice. And as you come to the center line there, we can stop and prepare him for lunging. Really nice, though. That's getting deeper every time I see it. Very nicely done.
Darcy, can you get the lunge whip and lunge line for me? Thank you. Hey, buddy. I don't need your gloves. I do need gloves, but I don't need your gloves.
I'm hearing a lot of sniffling over there today.
Oh yeah, it's cold.
Good.
We're almost down
Well,
to 30.
we actually had it down to about 40 here at our house last night, but it warmed back up. But,
Yeah, no, we're almost at 30 right now. Probably.
Must say I don't miss that.
It was in the 70s on Monday.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay. Come on. He likes to be close to me.
Yeah. He loves you. Good.
Come on.
Watching him go, I just really like how relaxed the underside of his neck is coming. Remember, this was a horse that a few weeks ago just couldn't, went totally counterflexed all the time. So getting him to loosen that and begin to bend on your circles a little bit, really good. You go ahead and ask him to trot.
Trot.
Really nice, starting to get there. For those watching, pay attention to the hocks. Always looking at the hocks. What are they doing? Are they making a circle? When the horse starts working over its back, the hocks will move in almost a perfect circle. There, see how he's beginning to step underneath himself a little more as his head stretches down and forward. The back end is able to come deeper into the body. Begins to flex those hocks a little more. So this horse is quite what we would call built quite straight behind, but that's exacerbated by how he had been trained in his younger life and allowing that back to become hollow the way it was and beginning to drop. So that even makes the back end go out more. So with a horse that's got a tendency to build straight in the hind legs, that's sort of a fatal combination. This is really nice now. Comes up a little bit. Of course, every time he does, we just push those hindquarters back out a little bit. Seem to activate and push up through the back. Like that's really, really good. Really good there. Like that. Once again, everybody, notice how he's really starting to swing now. Notice how the rhythm, it starts looking like there's nothing interrupting the rhythm. That's what we're looking for. Oh, it's coming really nicely now. Good job. Now let him come back to a walk again. That's really good.
And walk.
Really nice, especially those last couple of strides there.
Walk on.
Really good now. Really nice. As he comes back around to the center line there, you can let him halt and change directions. Let's see what the other side's going to look like.
And
And notice anybody watching this, how low the side reins are on this horse. That's to help him encourage the stretches. We don't want to shorten the side reins, but I wanted him to contact the bit when he raises his head quicker. Because when they were up in the beginning, this horse was very high-headed and wanting to be upside down. So this encourages him to come into the stretch, but without shortening his neck back into his body. So it won't be long before we'll start to move those side reins up higher and ultimately to the top. You can see he has a little more difficulty bending in this direction. There you go. But every time we get the neck a little bit longer, that gets a little better. Nice. Then go ahead and ask him to trot.
Trot.
Yeah.
Trot.
Good. You can see in this direction as it comes around there how he wants to bend to the outside a little bit, but this is much better than what it was. Really good. That's much better. Just keep going, getting better all the time. Yeah. Really nice there. That's coming really good. Oh, much better. He's actually starting to bend a little bit there. Really good. This is really good. Now let him walk again.
And walk.
Big improvement in that direction. And go ahead and halt and change directions again back to the other way again. We'll go each way a couple of times.
And ho. And ho. And ho. Good boy.
Big improvement that time, Ron. This is looking better all the time.
Yep, a little bit at a time. Don't worry about what other people are doing, Trigger. Come on.
What are they doing over there? There we go. Now go ahead and trot. Let's get that stretch
Trot.
going.
Come. Trot. Trot.
Run your lash out and just tap him on them.
Trot.
Just get yourself a little distance away from him so you can run the lash out. Yeah, really good there. Really good. Excellent. Really good. Now this is what we want to see. Really good now. Now, next time you come to the wall on the other side, ask him to canter. We'll just take a quick peek and see how it's looking.
Canter.
You see how immediately canters like he's got the brakes on. And the horse pulls his head back like this and braces against the front feet. We'll just keep going for a moment. Let me see if he's able to release at all. When a horse canters like this, we don't want to do a lot of cantering. See how he disunites behind. Go ahead and let him come back to the trot and stretch again. So what we're seeing here is this horse isn't quite. That's why we come back to it once a week to check and see how it's looking, but he's not quite ready to do much cantering yet. But that little bit of cantering may help him just get a little activated. So, but we don't want to push it because it's not going to be great today. I can tell you that. So there's no point in doing much of it. But if it helps get a little more activity here, as it did, that's really nice now. Now he's bending better. So even if the canter may not be any good, just the act of doing it may activate the horse a little bit. So if you don't do much of it and come back and use that energy that you kind of created for a better trot. Really nice now. That's really good. Now let him walk again.
And walk. And walk.
And then halt over the center line and change directions again.
And oh.
Really nice that time.
I think that canter loosened him up a little bit. You know he was stiff.
Well, they got to be a little cold when they first come out when it's 30 degrees.
Yep.
Remember when I lived in Colorado coming out to ride horses when it was 20 below zero. That was crazy.
Yeah, no, that's a little too cold.
Yep. I enjoyed living in Colorado, but I knew I was never going to want to stay there. Too much cold. Nice. You see how the walk now is a little more active in this direction. Could be stretching a little deeper, but it's not bad.
Walk and walk. Walk.
And go ahead and trot.
Drop.
Much better. It's actually starting to bend a little bit in this direction. It's really good. Big improvement. Really good. And let him walk again.
And walk. And walk.
Big improvement in this horse. Nice stretch in the walk now. Is Darcy there?
Yep. Just give me a second, I'll get her.
Okay. Let's
And
get her and put her up there.
And
so for you who's watching, if you didn't see some of the previous lessons with this horse, we tried putting weight on this horse and he just couldn't even really trot and stay connected. So we've stayed off his back for a few weeks now as we got the stretch. He's stretching much better. That's one direction he couldn't really do anything at all. So that's a huge improvement. So now we're going to put Darcy up, since she's a little lighter than Ron, and see how he handles the weight today. We'll start back in that other direction again.
Same direction?
Let's go the easier way for him.
Okay. Side reins, right?
Yeah, side reins, and just go ahead and put the reins on him so she has something in her hands there.
Back up. Come on, back up, buddy. Here you go. Yep. side is done. Yeah. Just checking on. No, I'll turn. Somebody. Yep.
You almost.
Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on, buddy.
I have a feeling these have to go up.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, I think these have to go up.
Okay, if you stop them, we'll do that. Actually, your legs look pretty good.
I don't think I have any room to. I think go up 2 holes. 2 or 3. You can't get it?
Can you move it?
Whoa.
Oh, buddy.
Should I go side saddle?
Yeah. Oh.
That's something I've never tried. Side saddle just looks really bad for the horse, doesn't it?
What's that?
Side saddle?
Oh, no. Nothing wrong besides that. You can sit straight on them.
How many did you go up?
I went 2. Can I go 3? I can go 3.
Okay, go 3.
The way side saddles work, you sit square in the saddle if it's correctly adjusted.
I've seen old pictures of people like jumping side saddle. It just seems insane.
Back in my hunting days in Unionville, this old woman used to come with us hunting. I swear to God, she was in her 80s, and I used to watch her jump these 4-foot fences, in that thing. It's just
That's
amazing.
Hey, come on, buddy.
Trigger. You got it?
Yeah, it's just
Tough.
But it's pretty hard to come off of one because your legs, you've got a thing there that's holding you in.
Oh, really?
Now you cross your legs over, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
just fix that side real quick.
You feel even. Like 100%.
Okay.
Just don't feel.
Yeah, one leg shorter than the other.
It does look like one of those is shorter than the other one.
It does?
Well, let me see it straight on again. No, I guess it's okay. Yeah, it's not bad. I thought your left one looked a little longer. If you feel all right there. So just starting out in the walk and just encourage him to stretch all the way down. If we get that, where we start. So as the rider taking over a little more control, asking those hindquarters to move away from you a little bit, just like you're doing with your own horse, being to ride him a little bit more. Asking him to stretch into the contact. Better. And let him stretch on out if he wants to. That's really good. Let him take it down. Much better there. Good job. It's getting better with their stud. Remember to really stretch yourself up, straight through your spine, lifting your chest up. The straighter we keep ourselves, the less work it is for the horse. And of course, we always want to know whether we're with the motion or behind it or ahead of it. There's not any time we ever want to ride ahead of the horse's motion. We can ride with it when everything is right. If the horse gets sticky or we need to get the back up a little bit, then we can lift our shoulders up and come back a little bit. But as soon as we feel that back up underneath you, then we want to sit straight. So your hips are neither pushed way underneath you, nor is your back arched out the other direction. You should just feel like it's like a neutral spine if you were standing still. If you were standing on your feet, rather, with a horse between your legs. This is coming very nicely, like this. Just keep softening them just that little bit with your reins there a little bit, just taking a little contact and then releasing it again. But never a backwards pressure. We never hold against the mouth of the horse. It's okay to soften it a little bit by closing your fingers on the rein. And that's usually done on the inside rein, but not always. In order for the bit to work correctly in the horse's mouth, one side has to be still. So that's why we have to have contact on the outside rein, so that when we soften by giving and taking a little bit on the inside, the outside rein is keeping the bit in position in the horse's mouth. That's really nice now. That's really a nice walk. Best I've seen him do, like that. Keep that going. Really nice. Now prepare to trot, and whenever you're ready, just ask him up into a trot. Let the reins be kind of relaxed. So don't try to hold him in a frame or anything. Just make the transition and then let him work it out. And we'll see if he can. We'll see what happens, how he starts to dipping away and dropping away from the weight. So we'll see if we can get him all the way there. If not, just keep going for a moment. Just keep those reins really loose. Just really throw the reins away at him there. So you've got contact in case, but mainly there's not any backwards tension on them. Just keep rising to the trot for just a moment and see if you can figure it out without making any big demands. Let's keep going for a moment longer. Then go ahead and come back to the walk. There it goes. Now give the rein. Go ahead and keep going. That's good. We got there. Good. Keep going. And just like you're doing, soften him just a little bit with that inside rein. Not a lot, though. Don't get a lot of backwards tension. Let go of the reins a little more. You need to give the reins more now. Keep going for a moment. Oh, we almost had it. That's it. Let's keep going for a moment. Let your reins be a little bit longer again. Just try to stay there you go, right there. Good. Now ask him to walk. Just say ho and don't take back on the reins. I don't care how long it takes to make the downward transition. And walk and just talk to him. Very nice, and let him just stretch out. We got him to release a little bit. Let him stretch all the way out. That was really good. Sometimes you kind of have to wait and see whether they can get there or not, because sometimes they have a lot of bad memories of how they've been ridden in the past. You know, we've got to get past all the old memories they have of what they think they're supposed to be doing. You say this horse was an old barrel racer, right?
He's done a little bit of everything. Cow sorting.
A little bit of everything in his life. Master of none, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. And keep softening that a little bit and get that stretch a little bit deeper. Really get him to release again in the walk. Very good there now. Good. Just let him go like that. Getting better. Really nice there. And ask him to trot again. Very good. Just keep going. See if you can act, maybe just a little tap of the whip and see if you can get him to just activate a little bit more. He's wanting to relieve himself, though. You can let him stop and do that. It'll always be better after that. Good boy. And then go ahead and walk on again. If you think he's ready to trot, then go ahead and try it. You can literally almost see how this horse just splits in half. His back just drops out from underneath the weight of the rider. There we go. This is much better now. Keep going for a moment. See if we can get in there. Just keep going just the way you're doing it. Keep relaxing those reins. Let them stay out in front of you. Just give him a little tap with your whip just to get him a little more active. See if we can get the back end to work a little more. There. Much, much better. Starting to get there. Keep it going for a moment. There, really good. Much better. Keep it going. Correct your rising diagonal. Keep going for a moment. I think we can get another stretch out of him. Just a light little tap of your whip there with him. If we can get the back end to work a little harder. There, good. Give him those reins. Really nice there. Look how the big gaits change as soon as he drops that head and neck. Really nice, like that. At least we've got some freedom of movement. He's not just putting on the brakes. Just try. There you go, like that. There. Good. Now walk again. And once again, it's not going to be a beautiful downwards transition, so we don't worry about that. Just getting back to the walk as best you can, quietly as you can, and back into the stretch and the walk again. Just keep going in this direction. And once again, letting him stretch all the way out. Yeah, good. Keep working that stretch. Like that. Good job. Really good there. Really nice now. That's what we want to see. Like that. Very good. And be sure when he gets like that you really stretch yourself up, to feel the ball underneath you. Really good. Now, the next time he goes back into the stretch, don't wait for me to ask you. Just go ahead and ask him to trot again. But wait till he stretches out that little bit deeper again. Right there is good. Anywhere there. And just ask him to trot again. Once again, reins are totally relaxed. Just start him with your legs like that. Yeah, good. Quicker that time. Same thing. A little tap of your whip just to move him off your leg just a little bit and activate his back end. There, really good, like that, really good, right there, really good, right there. Excellent, keep that. One more circle. Feel when he like disengages, really drops the back, and all of a sudden the hindquarters start tripping out behind him. One more time back in that stretch. See if we can get it again. There you go. Good. Watch how the gaits improve. There, much better. Keep going. One more little tap of that whip behind your leg again, just to engage that back end a little bit more. Keep going for a moment. Just throw away the reins a little more. You got a little too much rein. Just try to really loosen up on the reins and let the side reins do the job. You just worry about keeping going with your legs. There, like that, like that. Now walk him again. I just wanted to release that neck again. And walk. And just let him stretch all the way out and then walk again. And as you come to the center line, you may halt. Very nice. And that's where we're going to stop today. So you may dismount and then come over and we'll talk about it. I don't want to go the other way because we got him to a good place, some steps there in this direction. I know the other side is going to be much harder, so there's no point in trying it because he's starting to run out of steam now. So always quit while you're ahead.
Makes sense. So Will, you see how he was like he hollows out, he gets really short-stepped in the front.
Exactly.
So that's why when he started doing that in the wintertime, I was like, was it his feet? Was it, so many other things that were the saddle? What was bothering him? Because he typically he didn't always do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is something that's come since wintertime. But he's never really fully stretched in the trot either. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Most of the work that I've been doing up until last winter was walk work and in-hand work, and like we've been doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just when I look at that I'm trying to, is it just because he's not strong enough, or is it a foot issue? Is it a back issue? That kind of thing. So
I would believe that it's strength, because he can walk. He's getting to the point where now you can see him. Once again, if there was something wrong with him, it would also be wrong without. Just because you get up there wouldn't make anything wrong, particularly other than the fact of the weight of him, the strength of his back to carry you. I'm quite sure that that's what your problem is, because he can't even really in the other direction. He's just now starting to be able to engage a little bit. So really, I feel that's exactly where it is, because it's improving. I mean, your trot has improved immensely since we started a few weeks ago or a month ago or whenever that it was. So I've seen huge improvements, and that's all it is. Just know that it's just like anything else. Imagine if you, I don't know, you got somebody who's been in a wreck or something, who hasn't worked out for years, and the bad posture, laying in a bed or whatever. That's kind of what you're dealing with. The horse had lost contact with how he ought to be moving in terms of the back had dropped, and that happened long before you got him. So I mean, this horse's down spiral started who started him years ago. But you've made a huge improvement, and I think we'll see it continue to improve from here. But you understand why I'm not going the other way.
Totally, yeah.
Because of that, this is the good way, and that's still hard. We got some wonderful moments in there today, and that's what we're going for. I would still stay off of him. Just go ahead and do another week. We'll get back on him again when I see you next week and take the process. So just everything you've been doing, the work in hand and the lunging, it's all about the time that it takes to build that strength to be there. So it will be there. And he got there today. I mean, he got some of the best steps I've seen him do. So
makes total sense. Total sense. So we'll just keep working the way we are and shoot for next week. We'll get Darcy on him again and see if we get a little bit more progress.
Exactly. And once he can hold her up, then we'll put you up there. But there's no point in putting you up if he can't hold her up, and once again, in both directions. We're just beginning to get it and crack the nut. But you've come a long, long way just in these 4 weeks or so I've been working with you. His body is starting to look much better. This doesn't have this thick underside of his neck totally all the time, and that's beginning to go away and disappear. So great job, you guys. Any further questions?
I think we got some work to do this week, but it's all good work. So.
All right, man. I think people have really been enjoying you posting these lessons. I want to thank Ron for everybody who's been watching these. They've been really fun for everybody to see. And once again, see how we work, how consistently the work has to be, and giving people an example to do that. So thanks very much for all your trouble.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, buddy. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Yep. Yeah, just a quick second. It's off.